Several years ago, my daughter Kirsten asked me a question that in many ways has redefined my life. She asked, "Mom, when you go to heaven someday, what do you want to be remembered for?" Without hesitation, 3 words tumbled out of my mouth. She believed God. God began to challenge my tombstone declaration with opportunities to trust Him more and more. Each time, all He was looking for was my yes. Within a short time, I was introduced to a pastor in Pakistan and given the opportunity through video conferencing to teach men and women biblical studies and preach in several women's conferences. In a 98% Muslim country, this is a beautiful opportunity to see the Word of God transform people's lives. But God's challenge to me certainly didn't end there. The local Pakistani pastor then asked me to dream with him about starting a women's sewing center and a children's school in a small village near his home. This village is centered around one of the many brick kilns still operating in Pakistan. Landowners employ village workers in the brick kilns and offer detrimental incentives and loans that create further indebtedness. Within a short time, the village children then begin laboring in the brick kilns to help their parents pay down the debt. And it becomes a never-ending cycle of indebtedness, much like modern-day slavery. There are very few opportunities for women to make money outside of the brick kilns, and we wanted to change that. The DSM Sewing Center trains 10 women at a time in both sewing skills and biblical teaching. At the end of that 6-month training, each graduate of our program is presented with a sewing machine of her own. She's then able to sew clothing and other items which she can sell to make money for her family. Many of these women have shared their stories with us, telling us that they were able to leave a life of abuse or uncertainty through the training provided by the DSM Sewing Training Center. We're so encouraged by these women's stories, but God's challenge to me didn't stop there. I knew we needed to say yes regarding the children in the village, but I have to admit that the commitment to start a school for them was a little scary. Before we birthed St. John's School, there was no school for the children in the village, and their parents had no money to send them outside the village to attend school. My yes to God's challenge to open the school in March of 2020 started as a 2-room school with 60 children. Today, we're renting a school with 7 classrooms, 4 restrooms, and a kitchen. And we have a principal, 5 teachers, and 160 students ranging from pre-K to 7th grade. They're being taught the love of Christ along with the academic knowledge they'll need to broaden their futures. We're rejoicing over the influence God has given us to generationally change this village in Pakistan. As we look toward the future, we are so excited to see what God will do. I'm sure there will be many more opportunities to say yes to the one who leads us forward.